afternoon, good evening, students. I hope you're doing good. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another lecture concerning linguistics for second year students. We are going to deal with semantics. We have already seen phonology, etymology, morphology, syntax. I have, let's say, organized 4 parts already. This is the last one. It's the 5th. It's about semantics. So we will start with what is semantics. We are going to go a little bit deeper into the topic, of course, and then this will be our last lecture for second year students. And of course, as usual, if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. I might redo the video if we have a lot of questions, and also you can message me on the Facebook page of this channel. Subscribe on the channel if it's not already done. That would encourage me to do more and help you out during the exam period, of course, and for the sake of notification, of course. Now, without any further ado, we shall start. Semantics, as a field of study, it studies the meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. Within semantics, we have semantic relationships, which means there are the associations that exist between the meaning of words, or between the meaning of phrases, or between the meaning of sentences. When it's between the meaning of words, we call it semantic relationships at word level. When it's between the phrases, meaning of phrases, we call it semantic relationships at phrase level. When it's between the meaning of sentences, we call it semantic relationships at sentence level. This is very important. Now we are going to exemplify with these semantic relationships, either between at word level or sentence level or sometimes phrase level. We are just going to give examples, but you might find others elsewhere, of course. But according to me, these are the most important ones that a student of English should know. Anyways, we start with the first semantic relationship, that is synonymy. It is the semantic relationship that exists between 2 or more words that have the same or nearly the same meaning. And of course, they have to belong to the same part of speech, but spelled differently. Which means, what do we mean first by part of speech? They should belong, or they have to belong to the same part of speech. If you have a word that is a noun, its synonym should be a noun, not an adjective or an adverb or a verb. To exemplify, we have the word big and large. Both of them are spelled differently. They have the same meaning, nearly the same meaning, but they belong to the same category or to the same part of speech. The grammatical category. Big is an adjective, large is an adjective. If we, for example, we use the word to begin, its synonym is to start. So both of them are verbs and they are synonyms, spelled differently. So this is what we mean by synonymy. Sometimes synonyms are believed to share all or almost, let's say, their semantic features or properties. However, no 2 words have exactly the same meaning in all contexts. When I say in all contexts, for example, when you say in the sentence, we use an effective strategy to solve problems, or the problem. Here, we can find a synonym of the word use. For example, it's employ, but we cannot, let's say, we cannot replace the word use with employ. Otherwise, it won't be, let's say, comprehensible, because in some contexts we have to use a specific word in order to fulfill its meaning. If you say we use an effective strategy to solve a problem or the problem, that's correct. But if you say we employ an effective strategy, that's not really acceptable. Another example, we use a Jimmy bar to open the door. We cannot say we use or we employ a Jimmy bar. So sometimes there are some words that should be used in a specific context while others cannot. Then we move to antonymy. Antonymy is another example of semantic relationships. It is the semantic relationship that exists between 2 or more words, same concept, that have opposite meaning. Not the same meaning, it's the opposite meaning. They have to belong to the same grammatical category or parts of speech. And antonyms share almost all their semantic features, except one. I'm going to illustrate with an example and you will understand. So, the semantic feature that they do not share is present in one member of pair, which means in one word, and absent in the other one. Let's take an example and you will understand what do you mean by the features and absent and all. If we take the word girl, and we take the word woman. Girl is animate, woman is animate. Girl is human, woman is human. Girl is female, woman is female. But girl is not an adult, so it is absent. But a woman is an adult, so it is present. So this is what we call by the semantic feature. When it is present in one and absent in the other one, this means they are opposite, or they are antonyms. Sorry, not opposites. They are antonyms, but they have opposite meaning. And we have three major types of antonyms. We have complementary or contradictory antonyms, the same thing. We have gradable antonyms, and we have rational antonyms. For complementary antonyms or contradictory antonyms, they are pairs of words in which one member has a semantic property that the other one or the other member does not have. In context in which one member is true, the other cannot be true. For example, we have male and female, girl and woman. Same thing that we, or the same example that we have given before. Dead, alive. For example, complete, incomplete. So if you are a male, you cannot be a female. So, for example, both of them are human. Both of them are, let's say, animate, alive, but they do not share the same. They are different in one feature, which is found, for example, in male, but cannot be found in female. So they are antonyms, and we say that they are complementary antonyms. The second type is gradable antonyms, pairs of words that are contrasted with respect to their degree, or scale if you want, to their degree of possession of a certain semantic property. Each term represents an endpoint, or the extreme, on the scale. For example, temperature, height, or beauty. So between those endpoints there are other, let's say, intermediate points. For example, hot and cold, but in between we have warm. This is the thing. This is what we mean by that. Between big and small, we have medium in the middle. So this is what we mean by gradable antonyms, which means, so we have two words. Both of them, they let's say represent the extreme point from the left to the right, but in between we might find other words which are antonyms to these words, but they are in the middle. This is as far as gradable antonyms are concerned. Now we move to the last one, the third type, that we call rational antonyms. They are pairs of words which or in which the presence of a certain semantic property in one member implies the presence of another semantic property in the other member. In other words, the existence of one of the terms implies the existence of the other term. Example, child and parent. There can't be a child without a parent. Doctor and patient. Buy and sell. If we don't have a buyer, there won't be a seller. That's the thing. This is as far as the three major types of antonymy are concerned. We move to homonymy. Homonymy is a relationship that exists between two or more words which belong to the same category. They have the same spelling, but different meaning. For example, to lie, which means to rest, and to lie, which means not telling the truth, or not to tell the truth. Then we move to hyponymy, which is also known under the name of inclusion. It is the semantic relationship that exists between two or more words in a way that the meaning of one word includes the meaning of the other word. For example, if we say vehicle, it includes bus, car, lorry. Another example such as animal, it includes cats, birds, fish, almost all, we can say all animals. Now the word vehicle and the word animal, we call them the subordinate, while those that belong to their category such as bus, car, lorry, cats, birds, fish, dogs, we call them co-hyponyms. This is very important. Then we move to polysemy. Polysemy is a semantic relationship that exists between a word and its multiple conceptually and historically related meaning. For example, foot. The word foot. This is a little bit complicated. For example, the word foot. It can be part of the body, right? It can be the lower part of something, because the foot in general for the human being is situated in the lower part. So it implies the meaning the lower part of something. This is what we mean by polysemy. Metonymy. This is another semantic relationship. Metonymy are words metaphorically stand for, or is a word metaphorically stand for another word. For example, the head of the department, right? The head, which means, doesn't mean the head, like the department has a head. It means that, for example, the chief, the one who is in charge of the department. And for example, this is the best example that we can give is the crown. When we say the crown stated, doesn't mean the metal or the object talked. It means the monarch or the monarchy in general. This is metonymy. Now we move to semantic relationships at the level of phrase and sentence. This is very important. Paraphrase, one semantic relationship at the level of phrase and sentence. It is to, what do we mean by a paraphrase or to paraphrase? It is to express the meaning of a phrase as a sentence using other words or sentences. And we have two types of paraphrase. We have lexical paraphrase and structural paraphrase. When it comes to a lexical paraphrase, it's to replace words by other words that have the same meaning. For example, John is happy. John is cheerful. This is a paraphrase. We change the adjective happy with cheerful. Same meaning. This is considered to be as a paraphrase or a lexical paraphrase. When it comes to structural paraphrase, it is to use a different phrase or sentence, but in terms of structure, but keeping the same meaning, right? This is as far as the we can give an example if you want structural paraphrase. For example, if you say John ate the apple, right? If we want to paraphrase this using the structural paraphrase, we can say that the apple was eaten by John. I didn't change the, let's say the words, but I changed the structure. I went from active to passive. This is an example of structural paraphrase. Then we move to ambiguity. Ambiguity is the property of having two or more distinct meanings or interpretations. There are four types of ambiguity. First one is morphological ambiguity. This is a little bit more complicated than the previous one. Morphological ambiguity occurs when the internal structure of words can be analyzed and interpreted in more than one way. We shall exemplify to make it easier for you to understand. We have the word unlockable. It can either mean that something that cannot be locked or something that can be unlocked, because it depends how do you see the word, how do you take the word. If you take lockable as a root, it means that something that cannot be locked. If you take the unlock as the root, it means that can be unlocked. So this is morphological ambiguity. Then we move to the second one. It is called the structural ambiguity or grammatical ambiguity sometimes. You can find it under the name of structural ambiguity or grammatical ambiguity. So this ambiguity is caused by the syntactic structure of sentences that can be interpreted in more than one way. Examples as usual. We need more intelligent leaders. It either means we need leaders that are more intelligent, or we need more leaders that are intelligent, which means the first one might mean we already have intelligent leaders, but we want them to be more intelligent, right? The second one might mean that we do not have intelligent leaders. This is why we need more leaders that are intelligent. This is what we mean. Then we have lexical ambiguity. It is when words can be interpreted in more than one way. For example, the example, we can fish. It either means the ability to do something or to fish. I mean, to go to the lake or the ocean and you fish, or it means to preserve food. The word can here might mean it's a modal verb for ability, or it can be a verb from the word canning, right? The action canning. It means to preserve something inside a metal box, generally to preserve food. Then we have metaphorical ambiguity. It is caused by metaphoric sentences that are interpreted in their literal meaning or non-literal meaning. For example, we say Lucy is a cat. Lucy is the name of a person. So Lucy is a cat. It either means the woman, Lucy, called Lucy, behaves like a cat. This is the non-literal meaning. Or Lucy is a cat that was named that way. In other words, Lucy is a cat. It's either the woman that behaves like a cat, or it's a cat that we named Lucy. So we do not know. This is why it is called metaphorical ambiguity. So this is as far as semantics is concerned. If you have questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below, or leave a like on the Facebook page of this channel in order to be notified whenever I post something new. You can message me there if you have more questions. And if I made things clear for you, that's more like it. I hope I did. Otherwise, I tell you, see you in the next video. Peace.